Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is going to be ultimate best meta build for Samuel this time. As you can see there, he's all about damage and Brawler, which is essentially melee combat, so you want to bank on that damage. Now let's go over the build. As far as Fist of Iron, I like to use Immortal here, and you're going to see why. But we'll get there, but you're going to see why later. I like to use Immortal so we can restore our health. As far as the dash punch, I like to use Relentless, so it increases our damage when we hit a zombie that's nearby. Recover, I guess, would be the second. I mean, you don't have to use Relentless. Like you could try using the critical one here. I mean, it's really kind of up to you. I'm not gonna lie. Like both are pretty good because this is gonna increase your critical, so in a way increases your damage. But this also increases your damage by default. So which also influences indirectly your critical damage. So they're kind of both one and the same. So it's kind of up to you really. If you want to go with if you think critical, you're just you know like giving priority to either critical damage but critical doesn't happen all the time, so that's why I tend to feel like relentless is better because you're always getting damage no matter what. So it's better to have the default increase than an increase on something that only happens now and then, which would be the critical. However, when that now and then does happen, it would be quite a lot. So yeah, it's up to you really. You can definitely play with both here. I wouldn't say one is like, oh my god, better than the other. So I just personally go with Relentless because I want to get that default because the default is what happens more often. Now as far as the Brawler here, we're going to be using Limit Breaker, and this is going to bank on that damage like I mentioned. By far the one that's going to give you the most damage from the other three. Blunt Force was nerfed, so and Focus gives you 20% increased damage. So this is also Limit Breaker. Like you can see there, as low the lower your health is, the more damage you increase. This is also percentage based. So essentially, if you're at 80% health, if you're at 80% health, which would be kind of a caution state, the little red yellow state, you're already going to be doing as much damage as if you were using Focus. Okay. But Focus stops at 20. This doesn't. So if you go below that 80% mark, you're increasing beyond what these two can give you. So that's why we're using Limit Breaker instead, because that's going to give us the most amount of damage. And the reason why you have Immortal is because since you're going to be running on low health all the time, you want to be running on low health all the time. You can just pop Immortal if you feel like it's a very risky situation. If for example, you're inside the room, there's like 20 zombies. You have like high damage, but you probably, if you get like bitten once or something happens there, you're gonna go down because you're on low health. You're like a red state or something to get the high damage. So and that way is where you just trigger Immortal and go inside the room that way, because then you're constantly recovering the health as you're doing the high damage and taking damage as well. Because 20 zombies around you, very unlikely you're not gonna take any damage. Even though like by having this at that low of a health, you're pretty much gonna be one-shotting everything. So with the zombies. But Immortal is just like a safe net, especially if for example he spawns a bioweapon and you're kind of low and you're just like hanging around one health, then you probably want to spawn the trigger the Immortal, so you make sure you don't go down, because going down is bad for the meta. You want to stay up, but doing high damage is very good, especially for cores. You can do like I've done like up to 6,000 damage or more actually with this thing on, especially if Valve is marking the core and you're using yellow herbs as well. You can definitely push beyond 6,000 damage with this. It's pretty crazy if you're running like on rest state and things like that. You guys see that on gameplay. And lastly, this is kind of up to you too. I like to use Last Stand because again, since we're gonna be using, we're gonna be running on low. You want to be low health all the time. You might as well have a shorter cooldown. So you always have this ready to be able to save your on. If you need some safety, you can just pop it. But this would also work since you're always doing your dash anyway. So it reduces 5 seconds for every time you do a dash. The finisher one, I don't think it's really good because you're gonna be mostly one-shotting the creatures. So yeah, don't use it. And this could also be an option. It reduces by 3 seconds, but there's a limit to it, like max 30 seconds. So I just found that either one of these two would probably be the most suited. I just go with the Last Stand because again, we're always trying to be low health, so it just complements each other very well. Now for the equipment, here is where the magic happens. You can see here I'm running a spray. I always recommend sprays. Sprays are very OP. But if you want to go for the full damage, it's pretty much, as you can tell, just iron nails and dog tags. which increases the just default damage, of the weapon. This is level 3, which is greatly, medium, moderately, and the dark tags increases the chances of critical. This also combos really well if you're using the speed reloader here, because this will increase your critical hit chance for a while after you do the dashing. So it does combo really well with the fact that you're already increasing with dark tags and things of that nature. So that's why I say it is viable if you want to use it. But I don't know, I just like personally go with the relentless. But it's really up to you. And right here is really just optional. Like, you don't have to use a spray. You could go for this. Would be like the highest damage you can get. If you want to bet more on the critical hits, you could try using this instead. Like if you're using that the speed reloader that gives you the more critical hit chance on the after the dash. You could try using this. Like obviously doing criticals is gonna net you the highest damage, but again, it's like just that it's like that 1 damage in 100. So I might as well go with the default, because the default is the one that happens more often. So that's why I personally bank more on the default damage than the critical damage. And sprays is really, again, to pick up your teammates, because it's very meta. You don't want to be having teammates down, because that's where the mastermind builds the most pressure, and it just slows the team down in general. We don't want that. Meta is also about speed, and it's mostly not about killing the creatures, but ignoring them. However, Samuel in particular has the damage where he can actually, and he's pretty much only good at, he's not really good at rushing, he's better at killing creatures and destroying cores. That's really where he fits the meta. Anything else he's pretty bad at. And infection is a really big problem for him as well. So I don't think he's a top 4 character for that reason, but I don't know. Could be, I guess, because of how fast he can destroy cores with this build in particular as well. But yeah, I would say dog tags is, kind of mandatory, I guess, if you want to. I think the moderately increases chances of landing or critical hits there is even higher than you using this, for example, okay? So dog tags would give you even more critical hit chance than using this. So that's why it's better there. And there's also the bonus of giving you just slightly there on the melee as well. But yeah, if you want to go like full damage, you can do this. This would be like the full damage build. Or you can also, if you don't want to use the iron nails, you could try using the criticals here. This would be like the highest, which just gives you a moderate increase. So in case you happen to get the critical with a build like this, is going to be really, really, you're gonna get those 6,000 that I mentioned, okay? Especially if you're low on health because of this limit breaker. So if you want to bank on the damage, then this is what you want to be using. If you want to play more meta, which is kind of, because you don't need, like, come on, it's fun and all to do 6,000, but doing like 5,800, it's not that big of a difference. So I might as well go with the more team-based build, so I have the sprays to heal my teammates. And again, you can also drop this for your teammates if you don't want to use it yourself, so that your teammates can use on you in case you happen to go down in a bad scenario. Which again, you're going to be running low on health, so that, especially if you're kind of crazy like me, I like to go like actually red state, so I can just one shot everything. So but at red state, if you get like bitten once or something, you're gonna go down. So it's bad, and people have to heal you. So that's why it's good you have the spray there, so they can pick you up faster. But yeah, that's really the thing. If you want to, you can play around this and use like more criticals, or increases the critical damage in particular for when you happen to get those criticals, like this for example. I have like both here, but again, it's really random. Critical hits is, it does happen, but it's very rare. So I'd rather bank on the default. And again, I already explained the reason why I have the spray here, but if you don't want to, you could totally use the, like, slightly. But again, between using slightly and using a spray, spray will help you win the match way more. So that's why I think it's more meta to have the spray there. A friend of mine also likes to recommend this, and I would totally tell you guys to do that as well if you want to. Another option here would be to use supplements. Where is it? Supplements right there. It's on the survivor there category. You can use supplements here, or if you want to take this off, you can have the supplements level 3 there, which is going to give you the most, increase there. And the reason for that is because supplements will reduce the amount of damage you take. Like you can use this, for example, if you want to do not use the spray. I'm using the slightly there, and you can also use or even use the, the hollow points here, or you can also use the spray here, and still like this build. The reason for this is because since you're going to be running low on health, it's actually good that you take less damage, because then, like, if you get bitten on the red state, but you have a yellow or active, you might not even go down just because how much this is going to reduce your damage, the supplements. You know what I mean? So that's the idea there. And this again also increases your damage. So if you're going on a core, for example, and you have the blue yellow herb active, this is also going to increase your damage, and it's going to help you stay alive longer for those situations where you're on the red state if you have a yellow herb active. Okay, but I'm kind of crazy. I just want to really try the high risk, high reward. So I personally don't use the supplements. I just go for the damage there, and I actually play. I try to play as much as I can on the red state, not so much the yellow one, which I mentioned is already equivalent of having the focus effect here on the damage. But yeah, that's the me, and so this is the build I personally play on, and I would recommend you definitely go with the spray and just focus on as much damage as you can. So yeah, that's for Samuel, and let's go on the games, and you guys will be able to see that damage in action. So see you guys there. Okay, so I am playing in a squad on these games, so I don't know if their voices are gonna show up on the recording. If they do, I would just commentate on some important points, you know, regarding the build. And otherwise,
Yo, Roxy.
I'll just let the gameplay roll, okay? So you guys can see it.
Roxy,
Huh?
you know that King Joffrey guy you talked about?
Jake King for what again?
King Joffrey, yeah. He actually sent me a message I just saw right now. I didn't saw before.
What did he say?
He said, when did you get good?
Get good?
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of more of a mastermind main, obviously.
I mean, not really. I mean, yeah, in terms of playtime, sure, but I mean, I play Survivor just as well.
I fucking hate dogs. Fucking gulos.
So see now we are at full health, so there won't be any damage increase. I'm taking damage here on purpose, so we will lower my health. But you see at this point, like we're almost at the caution. We're already going to be getting that 20% boost, so we will equal like having focus essentially.
Scorpion, are you being toxic with that man? I saw you dancing.
Das hätte jeder finden können.
Let's go, Spider-Man.
I want him to hit me so I can lower my health and get my damage.
Von mir aus kann's losgehen.
You're really jealous of Tyrone's kick action. No, like when he kicks doors.
And you see, I bought the bat as well. I mean,
Yeah, okay, you're
just
like
for the extra damage, but you know,
Also,
depending how low
every
your
time I
health
get
is, you can
say that,
totally
you
kill
literally
them with
said
the wood stick.
See? Told you. You ain't the only bitch lying. We ain't the
And see right there, I was already at the green state, and it was already doing like 1,200 there. I hope you saw that. It was already like a one shot to pretty much normal creatures. And the fever skews, I have it ready. I just have it ready, and I use it if I get into a tight situation. That's when I pop it, so I can kind of regain my health as we go along.
So viele fahren mit dem Test fort. Gut, so bekomme ich mehr Daten.
Man, like, fuck you guys. I'm not getting healed.
Glauben Sie nicht, dies geschehe gegen meinen Willen.
So at this point, usually you can get. I was lucky enough to get the hammer here. So once you get the hammer, I mean, you pretty much set. Like you're gonna be doing the max damage all the time. I'm just buying herbs because infection is always a problem with Samuel. So my economy usually goes just for buying the weapons and yellow herbs and blue herbs. But because you're not using blunt force, usually
I'm actually gonna drop my greens.
the
If I
repair
need to
kits
heal, I
are
just use
not
my
usually a
power.
problem. So your economy on the repair kits is usually fine.
Ja, ich muss hier eintreten oder so.
You see right there, like
Yellow?
2,300. It was not even a critical. So you see, I'm at the caution there too. So you know, I'm already getting like 80% damage. You roll a little bit more, as you can tell. And that was
I have
without
to, you
any
know.
yellow rib. So you're essentially already like one-shotting everything.
Lag.
Ich glaube, ich wurde gebissen.
2,000 damage.
And see, in this case, I actually like to use the infection to my favor, and I let it take my health away instead of healing. But however, I wouldn't recommend you do this on infection level 1, because if you're doing that on infection level 3, you're just coughing and wasting a lot of time, so it's gonna be bad for your team, you know. But so I wouldn't play too much on infection 3, but level 1, level 2, then you can kind of use that to lower your health. See, like in a scenario like this, which if I was like on red state, this is when I would pop my immortal,
2,400.
so I could make sure I don't die while I'm doing the high damage, you know.
Ein Versteckspiel mit einer stinkenden Leiche.
He still grabbed me after I was already dead. What the fuck?
Es reicht.
Yo, don't spray me. Just heal me normally, if you can. 'Cause then I'll keep the health down.
Na los, nehmen Sie die Karte. Wir haben heute noch viel zu tun.
Bro, 5k damage, bro. 4k actually.
It's right there, like 4,000 damage in a hit. I mean, you're very much one-shotting any creature you see. Like if we get in a room full of zombies, that's when I'll definitely pop the mortal here. And keep in mind that the reason the passive area recovers faster when you're low health. So by walking low health like this, you will also be recharging your mortal like much faster.
Das wird meinen unausweichlichen Sieg nicht verhindern.
Bro, where's the final? I guess it's on the other
Hier eine
side.
verschlossene Tür.
Sehen wir uns das mal an.
Zur Hölle.
Yeah, 3,000, 4k is like the default.
And you see, I got 4,000 there without even
One shots
critical.
everything. 4,300.
Wieso gibt's hier so
Yep.
I think he prefers the infection.
Ihre Bemühungen tragen einiges zu meiner Forschung.
Infection, Alex.
Hier muss es doch was Nützliches geben.
Die Tür hau ich weg.
You guys ever played against that build where she spams on area 3?
Gute Nacht.
Mist,
And she
verschlossen.
has the contagion too.
Schau mal, ich mach die Kamera aus.
That was so close. We're like having fun here and he's trying so hard.
Es warten noch mehr Fallen auf Sie.
Hecke.
So like with a damage this high, you're essentially just you're the one that's kind of clearing the room of creatures and whatnot as the Samuel. Because I mean I usually I say the meta is not killing the creatures, but with the damage this high, you should totally just like one shot them as you go through because it's melee anyway. You don't even have to stop to aim or nothing of that nature. Like right here again, I'm taking damage on purpose so I can lower my health.
Vielleicht kann ich was finden.
I shouldn't have healed myself. Where's the core? It's on the other fucking side. I'm dead, I think.
Das
Nice.
wär's fast gewesen. Danke.
Guck dir das an.
You know, you
Now-
could have just lowered the other one.
I did get like 6,000 plus on a core once, but I'm not sure if it was in this video, but if not, it was in a video I didn't record. But I did get like 6,000. You can definitely go above 6,000 with this build on the cores.
Watch this. One shot. I'm gonna enjoy destroying the square. Let me see how many hits it takes. Wait, let me hit him first, because then I get a bonus damage. For 5,000, 5,000, 7,300. What the fuck? 7,300 on.
So you see right there, it was essentially like 4 hits and the core was gone. It's so crazy.
I mean, I can still go a little lower on health and it would be even higher. It would be like 8,000 for sure. Yeah, I got 7,500 with the critical.
Mir ist echt nicht so gut.
Nice, nice. I'm infected now. Let me see the damage. don't touch it.
Sehen wir uns das mal an.
I'm gonna use the zombie to get my bonus too. Well, not anymore.
Mach mich
Dachten Sie etwa, ich
Okay,
würde
let's
mich
count.
Ihnen überlassen?
Fuck, let me do my thing.
glotz mich nicht so an.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it was pretty much 6. I didn't get too many crits.
Sie sind noch nicht frei. Ich erwarte Ihren Tod. Bald schon.
It was doing less damage than. Oh, I guess maybe it was because Val used the scan on the other one.
Oh, das war
It was so
knapp.
high.
Danke.
So see, there's a little risk. You can kind of go
That's what you
down.
meant.
You can go down very easily, so you gotta be careful like where you go and get yourself
Guck dir
into.
das an.
So it's not so bad for your team, you know, because you're constantly going down and then they have to heal you.
Fantastisch.
Hammerhart.
Vielleicht kann ich was finden.
Ja.
No. Oh my god, that was so close.
Sie stehen
I
am
fucking
Rande
killed
der
myself.
Sterblichkeit.
Just tap me. Thank you.
Hier muss es doch was Nützliches geben.
Are you marking? Yeah, it's marked. Let's see. 1, 2, 5,000, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, it's pretty much 6. It depends if he gets a critical or not. If he doesn't get like 80 critical, it's pretty much a 7.
Solchen Erfolg erwartet.
Nicht
You think he's using?
spannend.
You think he's using extra health? He could be. On the
Ich glaub,
chorus.
ich wurde gebissen.
But yeah, like guys, like I mentioned, you could totally use the build where you can actually increase the critical hit chances if you want instead of going for the damage. But you know, it's just up to you. But you see right there, like consistent is like 3,000 or higher, 3,400 on the core. That's pretty good. You know, can't complain. I don't think Val marked that, but if Val marks the core, it will do more damage as well. It's like 20% more on top of what you're already doing. Plus your yellow orb. And if
Gave
you're
up.
using the supplements, it would
No,
help
he's
you
still
stay
here.
alive with this low health as well. If you're using the supplements, like I mentioned in the intro. But if you want to go like highest damage, it's probably the build that I'm using here. I mean,
Oh yeah,
you
plus
you
I
drop
got some
the
RP
spray and
boosters,
increase
my
the
2
damage
app
also.
cards. I mean 2 BSN cards.
And then you'd be hitting those 8000s.
Yeah, he gave up. He's just like staring at nothing.
Wir kommen nach Hause.
So you can see this is kind of meta. Like I don't say Samuel's the best meta, but especially for area 3. Area 3.
It's a Nick up, dude. It's no fucking Jan. The sparring had to change. He had to change.
So you see, on area 3 is definitely meta to have a Samuel like that destroying the core so quickly, but you know, for the rest of the match, it's kind of whatever. He's really only
I
good
have
against
USB
creatures.
though.
Like against a Nikolai, he wouldn't be so useful, but you can totally use that damage to kill the bioweapons as well if you feel like trying that. Like Nemesis, for example, if you
He
smack
said
him
that
with
I'm
that
only gonna run
doing
vaccine.
like 300, 3000 damage like that, he's gonna die pretty soon. Where he gets like stunned and whatnot. But he's
It's not like
Samuel
your
is
mains only
mostly
infinite
meta
X,
for
he
the
plays
area
all
3,
monsters.
really.
Mal mit nem Bär gekämpft.
And I don't know, maybe if he has creatures like Nat spawning creatures or you know
Bösewicht aus den 80ern.
Spencer, he
Ja,
could be
hab ich
good
schon
as well in the sense that he's gonna clear the room like super
There's
fast
no Jan, so trust
and
me.
gain a
We're
ton of
fucking
time
here.
because he's like one-shotting everything.
Just get the high
Das
den on
Ding
area
ist
2.
vielleicht nicht tödlich, aber es wird euch aufhalten.
This guy
The
has
high with the
double
high
ping.
den, if we all shoot together, we can do
There's
something.
a yellow here.
Oh, and you saw right there, I was using Relentless on the
right here.
passive. You could only use the critical ones if you want to increase, like I mentioned, the criticals. If you want to bet more on those when going for the core, but you have to hit the zombie first, like I did there on the first game. Otherwise, you're not gonna get the bonus from the dash. But you know, for that, you have to have a zombie nearby, which you don't always do.
Got him, he's there.
By the way, keep in mind, the damage
Bitch.
increase for Limit Breaker also works on weapons. Okay, it's not just a melee. It's just like general damage. So if you, for whatever reason, you want to play guns, you could totally do that as well, with the speed reloaded there on the passive for the dashing. And you would just do damage high with the weapon in that case, you know. But I would just rather go with the, you know, with the melee. It just seems it's more Samuel. Like he's a brawler, you know.
See,
He's
was he
he's
a
not backup,
high
so.
rank? I wasn't looking.
But that's something totally you could try using if you want to use the weapons. You
What if
essentially would just switch
177?
the iron nails for
Pretty bad.
gun damage instead of arrow nails. You know, for instead of melee increased damage, you just use
How
a
the
gun
fuck am I
damage
taking on camera
increase
so fast?
and have the speed reloader on the passive there, so you can, you know, reload your weapon faster and whatnot. But the damage for the limit breaker
EMP on
is
Martin.
general.
Never
Okay,
seen
it's
that
not just
before.
for weapons. You know, it's also guns, because guns would technically be safer, you know, to shoot them from afar rather than, you know, going like
What the
if you
fuck? He's
smack them
lagging.
with the hammer. There's a higher chance you're gonna go down and whatnot. So if that's something you want to try, but you know, all his abilities really revolve around melee. So for that reason is why I'm showing the meta
Oh,
here
he
as
has that.
the melee. But just understand that you can also try the guns if you want to.
Es ist offen. Kommt, Leute, gehen wir.
Ihr seid verängstigt? Sehr gut, das wird meinen Kunden freuen.
I mean, his deck is so weird. Maybe he's using something for area 2 specifically.
Das ist kein Problem.
And see what I mean? This is where Samuel is the weakest. It's like against Nikolai
guys,
like
I got
this.
a
He's pretty
shortcut.
bad for destroying cameras. He's, you know, doesn't do anything pretty much.
Yes.
Maybe he might be good for killing Nemesis, but at the same time, you need some melee Nemesis, and that would be pretty dangerous. So, yeah, he against a Nikolai like this, he's just not
He
good as
doesn't
with all
have-
Masterminds, you know,
There's
like a Val,
another.
for example, or Jan that's good
No.
against any Mastermind. So, I don't know
Plus,
if I
he doesn't
really
have
put him
auto
on top
shield.
4,
He
even
has
though
the
he's
thing to
very
scam.
meta for area 3, but you know, still, it's just something to be aware about, I guess.
He has the machine gun. He has the.
Schloss man drauf, sagt man sofort.
I never seen. Did he use the air cannon or?
Dude, the hitboxes for the mobilizer are ridiculous. Oh my god, Yurik.
Ich glaube, die Kamera ist aus.
Der Schlüssel gehört euch, nehmt ihn. Ich töte euch mit meinem nächsten Spielzeug.
Yeah, he's running both.
Eine Kamera weniger.
And I think he works best this way when you just use the ride den. If you're playing like a Nikolai, because then you instead of buying the sledgehammer, you buy the high den, so you can
Next.
deal with cameras a little better. You know, help your team. This is really not. I guess the best weapon for anyone that's not gen to destroying cameras would be the high den or the shotgun. The shotgun's really good too, but it does waste a lot
I
of
have
ammo,
so
so
much
your
ammo to keep shooting like
resources
that.
are gonna fly by. So that's why I
Yeah.
personally prefer the ride den. Because if you have like 4 people, 3 people shooting with the ride den, the camera's gonna go by really quickly. So
I see.
you know, even if they're not gens, you know, multiple ride dens will get the job done with for no resource cost.
Das wird euren Schmerzen ein Ende bereiten.
Was hab ich denn Schlimmes getan?
I have a spray if we need it.
Eine verschlossene Tür.
Got
Yeah,
it in.
he's much easier to kill if we shoot him.
Wenn's hier ist, finde ich's.
Der Tod holt nicht an.
Muss vorsichtiger sein. Danke für die Hilfe.
Nemesis health I think is like 5k, 15,000. So you see I did 1,000 there. Once he reached that point, he goes down and he gets stunned for a long time.
away. It was in. Fuck out of here.
So as a team, it's really not that hard to down him if you're all shooting together, especially with the backer and
I have a
survivors
spray.
that do a lot of damage.
Dachte schon, ich wäre erledigt.
Sehen wir uns das mal
Das
an.
war klar.
Headshotting obviously would be the best way to do damage to him.
Tür ist offen.
I kicked him down. I just fucking kicked him. He just kneeled down to me.
Keine Sorge, das ändert.
And see right there, he got the sweet spot there with the kick, so Nemesis went down immediately. He got
Dude, but
he
it's
got
gonna be so good because I have
killed actually, like,
the
stunned.
limit break.
so that's how you kind of do it.
Like if he shoots me with the weapon and
Yep,
I'm
Scorpion
low
Yellow
health.
Herbs. It's gonna be a Gaba destroying course.
Yeah.
Ow.
Oh, ich mag's nicht.
I need to take more damage though. Would be ideal.
Hier muss es doch was Nützliches geben.
Ich kann euch
Okay,
schlecht
you guys
helfen.
can have these ammos. Well, 36, obviously. And the shot.
Use a thing right now. Oh, I have 2 flashbangs. I have 3 flashbangs. Let me drop them for you guys, so each one of you can pick one.
I need one.
There's 2.
But don't like instantly use it yet, because he's gonna use exterminate.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a
Automatic, 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 automatic.
Do you have like
Kamera auf.
can you pick a money there so I can buy a yellow?
There's a yellow here.
I didn't realize I was holding ammo right there in my inventory.
Alright, let me get it,
I
let me get
could've
it.
dropped that.
Sorry.
Since I was using the ride in.
Alright, just leave the court. Yes, hit me, please. Thank you.
Where is everybody?
Okay, I'm in red state. My damage is gonna be insane now.
Ich blockiere die
My
Kamera.
damage is gonna be insane.
Vielleicht kann ich was finden.
Los, stirb!
Bruh, I healed. You're really telling me I did not heal from that?
Damit zögern
Bro,
wir
bro,
das
5,800.
vermeintliche Tode hinaus.
Holy shit. That was like the two shot core right there.
I'm taking the other way.
No, the default damage was like almost 4,000, I think.
Die Zeit. Sie läuft ab.
I'm coming with Safeguard.
Nemesis wird euer Ende
Nice, nice. I'll get the core.
Oh, Scheiße.
Bro, that was 4 hits. That was literally 4 hits.
He's literally going for fucking Scorpion.
Well, I have a. I didn't die because of Tyrone's ult. Do you have that spray, Val, with the yellow?
Ja, ich muss sie
Let me
eintreten.
kick it, let me kick it.
Nice.
He's shooting, he's shooting!
Uns das mal an.
Was zum...
4,300 damage is the default.
Get him up, just get him up.
Oh, the time. I didn't notice the time. Shit.
Einen Moment, ich blockiere die Kamera.
I have 2 shortcuts, but like I think Violet has her fever ready, so there's no thing or something like that.
Kaputt? Oh oh.
Oh my god, I don't have any fucking greens. I don't have any greens.
I'm gonna drop one here. I have Immortal too. I don't need him. He's the automatic there.
Super. Danke, Leute. Danke. Danke für die Hilfe. Danke, Leute. Sehr hilfreich. Danke. Danke, Leute.
I think Limit Breaker also increases the damage of the gun itself.
Du bist schon tot.
It's so OP. Nice. Dude, I was doing 400 and 300 was like no buff whatsoever. 4,000 and 300. Hey guys, that's the build, that's the video. That's how you best play meta Sam. See you guys in the next one. Take care.